So the water stuff is all right. I've heard about it.
Product placement.
Yeah, product placement. Discover Denton.
Yeah.
Type things there. And are we on the air? Finally. Pause up, cats and kittens. It is time now for another venture into radio excellence, radio extraordinaire. It is time for Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com. And we are broadcasting live from 111 Hickory Street in beautiful downtown Denton in the lovely Mighty Vic.
Woo.
The Mighty, what do you mean woo? They're watching.
Woo.
Woo. There you go. Thank you. The Mighty Vic, the Visitors Information Center, and in the DentonRadio.com studios. And sitting here with me is the lovely and talented Jade Nickol.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, pretty good.
Hey, I hate that.
Oh, okay.
Hello, how are you?
Shut down. All right.
Very cool. Very good. And it's lovely to have you back. We haven't had you here for a while.
I know.
It's been a little
Too
while.
long.
It's been, yeah, ages. Well, what's been going on since then? It's been what? How long? How long's it been, Mr. Producer? Do you remember?
Since we had Jade.
Since we had Jade, it's been
Like 10 years.
about 10 years.
10 or 11,
About
that's
10
what I was
years. I
thinking.
remember that. Okay.
Yeah, I've been pretty good. If you'll figure out soon, but I picked up a guitar.
We've had that discussion.
Yes, we have. When I was here last time, I had this big piano.
Yeah, you had your keyboard.
I had my keys.
Yeah.
So I picked up guitar.
So what prompted you to go the dark side?
Dark side.
Yeah, just
Six-string dark side.
Yeah, the 6-string dark side.
Well, I picked it up in January, and I just really like. I always wanted to learn it, but I had
Right.
no motivation to learn it
Right.
because it's just hard. And so I took lessons, but I was like, I have to be into it for myself to want to learn it. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't practicing or anything.
Yeah.
So I just got the random motivation one day to do it, and here I am almost a year later.
And broadening your horizons
I know,
a little bit. You have not put down the piano, I
No,
trust. Good.
I still play it.
Very
just-
good.
Yeah.
That's good because there's, and I'm a bit of a hypocrite but yes, I do play guitar. Although I don't know what you guys do with 6 strings. I sincerely don't. I only have 4.
Okay.
So you've never seen that? I haven't showed you.
Oh, yes. Okay, I know
So-
what you're talking about
But
now.
keyboard players are a little bit rare
Yes.
as compared to guitar players. But the thing is, it's always good to branch out, and it gives you. Do you find it gives you a different perspective?
Oh yeah,
when
totally
you're-
different sound.
Are you writing on it yet?
Yeah, I only write on guitar.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
My sound is so different on guitar
Mm-hmm.
than on piano. It's crazy.
Has it? What's it propelled you into different?
More country, like more of a country.
Really?
vibe. Yeah, that's kind of more of my genre now. It's
That's
more like
interesting.
country folk.
Yeah.
That's how I write. Like I started writing a song. That was like another thing that prompted me to pick it up. I wrote a song on the guitar,
Yeah.
and it was barely hear the music in it because I was so bad at guitar. But,
Right.
And then as I kept writing on it, it started to turn more country
Yeah.
and like folk. And so I was
I think
I like this.
I think that is a natural progression. You know,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you pick up an acoustic guitar, it just kind of lends itself directly to that.
Totally.
But did you find that you were looking at cadences and looking at the way a song is put together and the way a
Yeah.
song moves differently?
Totally. Yeah, I write very differently on the guitar than
Yeah.
piano. It's
Yeah, because your piano music, which was wonderful, was very poppy.
Yeah.
And very, for lack of a better expression, top 40, which I don't know if any of you guys out there know what that means.
I do.
Do you really? Okay, that's good. That's good. Back in the old days when you had the top 40, and which I quit listening to.
Well, I mean,
about
they
20
still
years
do
ago.
that. I mean,
Do they really?
Oh yeah, there's 106.1 is all top 40.
Oh, okay.
Kiss FM.
See, that's education for me because I have the slightest idea. If it's new, I don't know it. So
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I appreciate that. I used to. It was so funny as I used to take my daughter to the hockey games because they play the bumper music.
Oh yeah.
And all night long it's like, who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that? Who's that?
They
And
have
she
some
could
good
tell me.
songs at hockey games.
Yeah.
My cousin played hockey, and I would go to him. I would sing the national anthem for them too.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh my gosh!
But they would play some really bumping songs.
They
like,
do?
I wanted to go down there and warm up with them because I was in the they get you pumped. Like, let me go out there.
It's kind of a rock and roll sport,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it really is.
So
They play some really good songs.
at one point, yeah, it was eat, breathe, sleep hockey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was totally off into it right now. So that's a side of us that you didn't know
I know.
about,
I did
like
not
Kathy
know you were a
didn't.
hockey.
I was a hockey fan. And it was about the time of the Stanley Cup stars around in there. But it was before that. And just to get off the point, totally. When I was your age, as a matter of fact, my father and I would go down to the stockyards in Kansas.
Oh, Kansas.
In Kansas, and when you're talking about the stockyards in Kansas, that's saying something because they have real stock down
Oh,
there.
really?
And that's where they would play the hockey games.
Wow.
Yeah, and the team we got to see all the time was the Dallas Blackhawks.
Okay, yep.
And so I moved to Dallas, and the team folds.
Naturally.
Yeah, but the Stars showed up a year later.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I got off all into it. And like I say, you go to the games, and they play the music, and it would just get you in the mood,
It
just get
does.
the pump because it's a fast
It's
a fast
It's
evening.
and it's violent, man.
Yeah.
I'd never been to one, even though my cousin he played for the Oklahoma City Blazers. He was on
Did he really?
Yeah, he's on the junior Blazers.
I've
and
seen
so,
those guys. I've
so
seen them, yeah.
He was very into it, so I went to one of his games. I'd never been to a hockey game.
Yeah.
And then it was so violent. Oh my gosh, they were getting shoved. And when the puck would hit the glass, it was so loud. It sounded like a gunshot. Oh my god, it scared me to death. It was a violent sport. Oh my gosh.
It is one real quick one, and then we'll get back to real life. But it was an Oklahoma City game, and it was the Dallas Freeze.
Okay.
And there's a reason these guys are like B hockey. But anyway, a fight broke out, and then another fight broke out, and another fight. It ended up everybody on the ice throwing punches,
Yeah.
right? And the two goalies were in the middle of the rink at center ice doing the Conan the Barbarian thing
Oh my
with the
gosh.
sticks, right? And I look over, and my daughter is sound asleep. She slept
Me.
through the entire thing, and I thought, that's my girl.
Yeah.
There you go.
Priorities.
That's my girl.
Priorities.
Oh, so, well, and you got to sing the Star Spangled Banner.
I did. I sang my
Wow.
totally favorite song in the world.
Oh, I'll
Not
bet
really.
it is. That second and third verse, which
Oh my,
can
yes.
you invert them? And you can, yeah. I know.
Totally my favorite song to sing, but I sang it, because he'd be like, "You just want to sing national anthem?" I was like, "Sure." So
And
I got to
then-
sing for him. I'm like, "That's
yeah.
pretty cool."
And you figure out not only does it modulate every verse, but it also, the second and third verse,
Those are
the
hardest,
words,
Yes.
I've
I've sang the national anthem a bunch of times. I've sang for baseball. I sang for the Rough Riders last summer.
Ooh, the Fort
Yeah.
that's out
The
up north, right?
Yeah, I don't Frisco.
Frisco,
Yeah.
yes, yes. There you go.
I don't know. So I went and sang national anthem for them, and that
Very
was
cool.
nerve-wracking because I was like, this song, can't mess it up. And
Not
it was
really.
a bunch of echo, because it echoes, so it was
Mhm.
echoing back, so that was messing me up. But I mean, I got through it.
Yeah.
But I've sang national anthem a bunch of times, but I still get so nervous every
That's
time.
so interesting.
Every time before.
You have quite the, for being so young, and you have quite the varied career.
Totally.
I think we talked about it a little bit. You've done some acting.
I did do some acting.
Are you still doing that at all, or
Not as much, I really got into music more. I used to, when I was at another music school, it was just, I wasn't into music as much because I wasn't gigging. I didn't know what really live music was. 'Cause
Right.
all I was doing was a showcase every 2 months. And
Right.
I had to pay to sing, which
Yeah.
learned-
That's sinful words there.
I
hate that.
learned that's not, and that's what I thought live music was. You sing to a track,
Yeah.
and you just sing a song.
Well, in certain places, that is life. You pay to play,
Yeah.
which is why I never went to California.
Yeah.
Because that was in the rock band that I was in at the time, and they were talking about going out to California, and that was the first thing you found out is you had to sell tickets
Yeah.
to do the gig. And if you did not sell enough tickets, then you made up the difference.
you had to pay for it. Yep.
Exactly. And I'm like, no.
That's not my thing. So then I branched out, left there, and then I kind of came around here, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was real live music because I'd never go out. And
Right.
now I realize, oh my gosh, this is really what live music is.
You've been gigging quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
have you?
So now I know what it is.
So are you doing? You're doing still mostly solo, or
Yeah, mostly solo.
yeah? You have a partner in crime, though.
I do, yeah. Me and Remy. I actually talked to her yesterday. We have the same piano teacher, so.
Oh, okay. Who you? Taking?
Julie Bonk.
Uh-huh.
She
Don't know that one.
she She's pretty nice. You probably have like probably 100 mutual friends. She knows everybody.
Oh, cool.
So,
I like those, yeah.
Yeah, she knows everybody. But she was Nora Jones' piano teacher, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Nice. So it's a good background there.
Very good.
And she
She's
probably knows what she's doing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
She went to UNT, so
So
very in tune with everybody here.
that's funny is that Remy's taking piano now and you're branching off into guitar, whereas 6 months ago it was the other direction.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
I know, right?
I hated guitar. Dude, I hated guitar when I was here last time.
Why?
I don't know. I had taken, even prior to then, I had taken a year of lessons at my old music school, and I still would never, we stayed on the same song for a year. I would never practice. I would never,
good
because
Lord.
first off, it hurt my fingers.
Mm.
And I just didn't like it. I don't know. I didn't like it. Probably because it never was in tune, so I didn't even know how to tune it. So even if it was right, it would still probably sound terrible.
I didn't have any lessons at all, but that was the first bloody thing I learned how to do was tune the guitar.
Yeah. See, I did not learn how to do that till
first thing. And
I would always ask my teacher. I'd be like, "Can you tune it?"
Yeah, really.
I didn't know you could buy a tuner, so like.
We did it by ear back in the day, though, to the record player.
Oh,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Now, when I
So-
when I didn't have a tuner, I did it to the piano.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I just started to like it, and I just thinking that I just had to want to do it for myself, like
Yeah.
want to do it myself, not have someone else want me to do it.
I think that's the strongest thing, and it because your desire is built in, and you know you really want to be and
Yeah.
want to do it. You know, there's and especially in music, there's things that you do that you have to do. Really,
Yeah.
you know, you have to learn how to read, and then you learn how to transpose and blah 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 blah. But the thing is, eventually it comes in handy
Oh yeah.
once
totally.
in a blue moon.
I know,
once in a
right?
blue moon, you know. But you will want to be caught with your socks down when that one thing, you
I
know,
know.
I need to do this in the next 5 minutes because I'm going to be on stage in 10.
Yep.
Oops, I don't know how, you know. And
No.
so, would you tune my guitar for
I know.
me?
Will you tune my guitar, please? Like.
No, I'm a bartender. Get away from me. Who are you?
They'd probably know how to do it.
Some of them do.
I
actually.
know, right?
Yeah. So you
Knowing
never know.
them, they would. So like.
So where have you been gigging at lately? What have you
I've been
doing?
gigging. I mean, I still do LSA. Not as I don't know if I'm gonna be there as much. It's too cold.
Right now,
cold.
yeah,
I
it's-
get cold.
We're in our down season as
Yeah.
far as that goes. Yeah.
But I do still do some around Denton. I have a gig this week on Friday, which I know nobody around here is gonna come because they're all going to the tree lighting, and I probably would too if I was gonna be here. But it's at EJ Will's Gastropub up in Dallas. It's
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there 7 to 9.
Very cool.
So yeah, I'm really excited.
Paying gig.
Heck yeah.
Good girl.
I
That's
know.
awesome. That's awesome.
Proud
Yeah.
of myself.
There you go.
But yeah, so I have that coming up. I've been kind of branching out more into just trying to get around the DFW area,
Mhm.
and done a few places. I did Perk Coffee House, which I know Plato's Theory and Lane have done. So I did
Right.
that last Friday.
Very nice.
And I did this place called Bottled and Bonds up in Frisco.
I've heard about that place. I've heard it's kind of a nice little.
Oh yeah,
nice
it's
little
really
place.
they tip great.
Very cool.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I've been doing that, and just trying to branch out more
Mm-hmm.
and to the DFW area, because first off I need to get paid, because like,
Yeah.
I'm 17, I don't have like a job, and this is what I
Understood.
want to do is make money off of doing this.
Well,
So-
the sooner that you get used to doing that, the better,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. You know, I quit playing. Well, I still do the occasional charity.
Yeah,
You know, once in a blue moon, but by and large, you know, you got to get paid for it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and I make sure that if somebody's playing with me, then they get paid.
hell yes.
Which was you know funny because Halloween, I thought I was going to end up in a hole. I ended up with 2 shows, 2 different bands, and but I think I come out $50 ahead after it was all said and done. So,
Hey,
yes,
worth it.
it was perfect.
That's worth it, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. So as long as I wasn't totally in the red, but yeah, those paying gigs are kind of nice. It was kind of nice.
I do. They pay good too.
Sometimes.
I mean,
Well-
to me, 17, where I still live at home and
Yep.
like I don't have bills to pay yet.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
a very good money compared to what like people my age usually make.
Exactly.
So-
exactly. You know, and
Yeah.
plus, having the little bit of experience, building up a rapport in these places.
Oh yes, that's the biggest thing.
Going back, you've played there once, you play there twice. You just
Yes,
you know
that's
have,
the biggest thing.
start showing up about once every other month or something like that, and do that for a couple of years.
That's
Build up
yes.
a little following.
Rapport,
a
yeah,
little bit.
totally. It's like when I started, like I decided, I was like, I really want to get gigs that pay. And I came up when I was on Song and Story. I met some dudes, and I met Richard Gilbert, and he helped me out with getting a letter typed up to send to him. And he gave me kind of what he does, and I went off of his and put my own stuff. And so I then started just emailing places, messaging them, and getting these places for myself. So I was like, I want to do it myself because eventually I'm gonna have to. Everything will be all by myself.
Did you send them sound files while you were doing that?
Yes, I sent them. Yeah, I sent a live performance.
Right.
And then I sent them the music on my website, the link to it, and and like a resume where I had performed. And then just
the whole ball of wax, the whole professional ball of wax.
The picture.
That's awesome. And you have a website.
I do. It's jadenicol.com.
And it's Nichol.
Nickol.
Nickol.
Yeah, it's like Nick and then Ol.
Okay.
Old Nick.
Old Nick.
It just reversed it. Old Nick just reversed it. Yeah.
When you end up with a beard and a mustache, we'll talk about Old Nick.
But yeah, I have all my music on there, and totally just go check it out. Spend some time on it.
JadeNickol.com. .org/ .edu. We heard from Charles Burkett. Charles Burkett says, I think that could be a very nerve-wracking song. You don't want to mess with the national anthem.
No, you really
We
don't.
agree.
You don't want to pull
We
a
agree.
Christina Aguilera and butcher it at the Super Bowl.
That did happen,
That
didn't
did.
it?
But she's Canadian, so I don't really know.
Oh.
I felt bad. I was like...
Have you heard the Canadian national anthem?
I have heard the Canadian national anthem.
Yeah.
Canada. They played it once at a hockey game that I went to. The one of the hockey games they played it.
They do it a lot at the hockey games, believe me. What was funny is I was watching one, and Geddy Lee from Rush sang the national anthem. And I was going, this is so
it's
cool.
Awkward, yeah.
It is a really weird song because it ends on an upbeat.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and so it's kind of a neat national anthem. So when you learn "Oh Canada,"
I know,
and then when somebody pops down here from up north, then you can sing their song as well.
I know y'all's song. You want to pay me? I'll sing it.
There you go. Get the gig. I know the words.
I know the words.
So that's awesome.
But yeah, you don't want to mess it up. That's one of my biggest fears is messing up the national anthem.
I got over that a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
I've been singing it since I was like 8, and I still
goof up
every
songs
time.
forever. Well, specific tunes. I try to mess up songs that nobody's ever heard.
I know.
Before.
Yes.
That's good. If it's an original, I'll sing anything.
I know.
To it.
I've made up an original like on stage because I forgot most of my lyrics. I made up half of it like on stage.
One of the things I heard, probably worse than all, is big build up, blah, 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 and you cannot remember the first verse.
Oh my God, yes.
I remember the rest of
Yes,
it. I remember
same.
everything else, and all the
that
breaks.
has happened to me, and you play through it again. You're like,
yeah. That was. I was really lucky. I had a guitar player that knew all the lyrics to all the songs, and so I'd lean over, look at him, and go, "What's
true
first?"
friend? That is a true friend.
And he'd
right
spit
there.
it out, and then, okay, I got it.
Yeah,
I got this.
Like they'll just say the first syllable of it, and I'm like, oh, yep, I know it. I knew that. I knew that.
Yeah, those are the moments that you really live for. Really, live performances. Just my favorite live performance was I was at a show, and we were going and going, and everything was just fine, and we were just blowing it up, And I walked up the stage and said, "Hello, Abbey Underground," and I get an elbow in the ribs,
Oh,
and I
wow.
hear this voice going, "We're at Andy's."
Oh,
Good.
That too.
Andy's,
Yeah.
Whoever, and you think of the stories of the guys that have got it written on the back of their
I know,
guitar.
right?
Where am I at?
Where
this
am I
week?
at? Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know. Like some people put their set list on the kind of curve of the guitar. I've seen that. I'm like, that's a good idea.
They're written one of the best ones, a cast, and it's been there. So.
Bro, that's so musician, man.
I know, right? That's hardcore.
That is something musicians do, like hardcore.
Oh. So, have you recorded anything? Or
I have. I actually am going in on Saturday to record again.
Where are you recording at?
At Real Time Audio with Eric Delagarde. He's pretty
Good old
cool.
Eric.
The old Eric.
You know,
Yeah, he's
Eric.
pretty cool. I went and saw him actually last week at Harvest House with a band he was with. And
Yeah.
he's pretty good.
He is.
Bass player.
He's a very good bass player. He's a really good producer.
Yes.
And we're very fortunate in this town. We've got so many good producers.
Oh yeah.
You know, a good handful of them, and Eric is definitely one of them. He's really great at mastering.
Yes.
You know, and I mean, some of them are good at getting the thing recorded. Some of them are good at manipulating it while it goes, and Eric is really good at getting
I like
it done.
Eric. I know Caleb goes because when I went the first time, Caleb and Moose were there.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, what are y'all doing here?
Spending money? What
I
are
know,
you doing
right?
here?
Yeah, same.
Same
but,
thing. That's cool. So are you doing just singles or are
yeah,
you doing,
usually not just singles. I went and recorded the first time back in April.
Yeah.
And I recorded a few songs that I had, and Caleb actually played guitar for me.
Did he?
Yeah, so
awesome.
nice. But I got those done, and then I wrote some new songs, obviously, and so I'm going back to get those recorded.
Very cool. Very
So.
cool. I'm fixing. It's so funny as I'm fixing to walk into a studio probably after the first of the year, and for the first time in my life I know what songs I want to record.
What?
But I don't know how I want to put it out. I mean, do you buy CDs?
No.
You do not buy CDs. You download everything, right?
I do. Actually, I stream it on
Do,
Spotify.
do you really? You stream it?
Yep.
Okay, so you didn't even
I
bother
don't even
with
know.
that.
Honestly,
oh my
like
gosh.
buying songs on iTunes just seems ancient to me.
Yeah.
I just stream everything.
See that, and to me, you know, I understand it, and I understand that the whole
The stream,
thing. It
yeah.
works with your phone, and
Oh
it works
yeah,
with
but
your,
it's
you know, all
it cheats musicians out. It's hardcore.
Well, one of the things that I miss about it is album art.
I know. Yeah.
I've always been a huge fan of album art, and it's funny. This is some people that I've talked to lately. Excuse me. Edgar Derby did it. Diesel Beast is fixing to do it. They're printing vinyl
Oh, cool.
so that they can have album art.
Album art.
Besides the fact that they can have vinyl, you know, which is expensive.
Oh yeah, they've totally gone up in price.
Totally dating myself. My first record album, mint, brand new, unopened, $2.25.
Wow.
Yeah, at a record shop in Kansas City that was run by the actor Ed Asner. It was run by his brother Ben, and yeah, it was called Capers Corner, and Capers Corner had all of the new releases
Oh dang.
and a giant room of bootlegs.
Oh yes.
His Frank Zappa bootleg section was about as big as this room here. It was
Dang.
huge. It was, you know, somebody had taken a
That
tape
is
recorder.
cool, bro. I
it
would
was-
go in there.
It was pretty awesome, and they were horrible recordings.
Of course, but you see it. Like,
exactly, you know, and I mean, it was just a record shop,
that's cool.
and we've got a couple in town,
Yeah.
and they're very, very cool.
But I don't even have. See, I don't have a vinyl. I don't have a record player or anything. So I mean.
Yeah. So you stream it.
Stream everything.
Yeah, and so what happens to album art? And I really like album art. You know,
I mean, it's still a thing because it shows up, you know, when you
Does it?
play it. Oh yeah, you still have to have a album cover. It's just, you know, virtual now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
all in the
these-
virtual world.
Yeah, you can't touch them anymore. I haven't bought a CD in years.
Wow.
I know.
I bought one a month ago. I'm still buying CDs.
So, but hey, man, keep it alive.
I know.
Keep it alive.
Let's keep the dream going.
I
That's
remember
what-
when like Blockbuster used to be a thing.
I worked for
Oh.
those guys. Yes, I did.
Blockbuster.
Yes. Before them was Sound Warehouse, and
Okay,
I
I'm
worked for them too.
Too young to know what that is.
Sound Warehouse was bought out by Blockbuster,
Okay.
and what was really neat is they didn't have to change the letterhead; it was all the same colors.
Oh.
So yeah, but it was the distribution center. So my
Oh.
entire day was surrounded by records and tapes.
Dang.
Yeah, I know, right? There was even
Tapes.
some 8-tracks back in the
Oh
corner.
my gosh.
And then when the CDs come out, everybody freaked right
Freaked
out.
out.
Yeah, it was really strange. But oh my God, they had old Sega games and stuff like
Yep.
that in there. This is 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and you kind of miss that. I guess there's
Oh
a
yeah, I miss
nostalgia.
Blockbuster.
Yes.
I used to go in there like on Fridays to get my movies.
You check out the
and
VHSs.
They had posters and stuff, and they had a
Oh,
whole.
yeah.
When you go to check out, they had this whole thing of candy and popcorn.
Yeah.
So you buy it, and I
Of
would.
course.
bro,
Impulse buy. with the
Impulse buy. I loved Blockbuster, and I loved the hardwood floors.
Well, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, they
that
had
was true. They had
hardwood.
hardwood floors in there.
Why do I
It's
remember
really
so
interesting, as
much?
I've heard that cassettes are starting to make a comeback.
I've seen some cassettes.
Yeah, they've started to pop up again, and I knew of one band in particular. They've been around for 30 years, and they made their living off cassettes.
Dang.
Yeah, they'd do a gig and they'd record it, and then the next gig they would sell the last gig out of the back of their car on cassette because they had dupes, you know,
Yeah.
so they had little boom boxes, and so they could run them off, and they had the album art and things like that, you know, and it was kind of neat. And they ended up with about 40 albums.
Dang.
They're called Osric Tentacles, and they're
Tentacles.
Osric Tentacles.
Okay.
Yes, and they're true space rock. If you've ever heard that phrase
Yes.
before,
They have that. Do they do that? I don't know what the instrument is, but you like put your hands over it and it makes the like eight. Yes, that.
The theremin.
Theremin. Yes,
No,
I
these
saw
guys-
it in a show and I was like, what is that?
That thing is a very cool instrument. There's actually a woman that is a theremin master that's out running around somewhere. You can get them, I think, Guitar Center. You can
Really?
get one at a Guitar Center.
I don't know how they work.
The
'Cause you, like,
electric,
just put
the
your-
electric
yeah.
impulses they reverberate. You have two wires, and they're both vibrating. And the
That's
closer your hand is to it, it's it reads the vibrations. It acts technically it acts like a reverse guitar string because a guitar string
Oh, yeah.
vibrates, and so it kind of reacts differently
Whoa.
that way. So you move it up, move it down, higher in pitch, lower in pitch, farther away, lower in pitch, higher
Wow.
in pitch. Yeah, and it's
Like
cool
you're just
instrument.
magic.
Yeah.
I saw it on a TV show and I was like, what is that thing?
there are a few people out there that really know how to play them, and they're amazing. First time I ever heard one was the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still. It was and it scared the snot out of me.
I,
It was
I saw that maybe a long time ago.
creepiest sound, but it's a really neat sound. So, and I like experimental instruments right now.
I know,
so.
yeah, like different one you don't see a lot or hear
Yeah,
a lot about it.
well, Irish bouzouki. There's one. So
Pizookie. Whenever I think of Pizookie, I think of BJ's has this dessert called a
Yeah.
Pizookie.
Wonderful.
And they're really good. So I always
well,
think of
okay.
that.
The bouzouki is actually the cousin of a Greek instrument. It is ancient.
No,
it is
it's
like
not a-
hundreds of years old.
It's not a dessert.
No, well, it could be. It depends on how you look at it, really. It's gave me desserts lots of times. So, well, honey, I would be more than happy to hear some of this guitar stuff that you've come up with lately.
Okay.
Would you like to inflict our listening audience?
Inflict, wow.
Inflict. Would you care to grace our airwaves
Totally.
with some dulcet tones? Awesome.
Sure.
All right. Well, my cats and kittens, then what we're going to do is we're going to take a brief little break here, get the lovely Jade Nickol set up, ready to go, and she's going to play a few tunes for us. So, don't go out of the neighborhood. Push the button, Max.
Every misdeed, every hateful look, write it all down in a little black book. Criticize the sunrise, the way the bells ring. I never could play, but you never could sing. I felt so useless, drowning in the river, running down your wrist. And I didn't know how to keep you afloat, so I just watched you sing. It's plain to see, taking life far too seriously. Got to still the mind, unwind, enjoy the ride. And I've been hoping that maybe you would stand up, give up all of this moping, and be on the road to feeling good again. Deny the folly of your youth. You're about as humble as a golden tooth, wearing your guitar like a string of pearls. It's always been you versus the rest of the world. You rely on prayer, well, you don't believe in luck. Go out and get drunk and wreck your truck, but we'll still be in church the very next day, passing plastic wisdom like he often played. it's plain to see. Taking life far too seriously, got to still the mind, unwind, enjoy the ride. I've been thinking that maybe you should slow down on all of the drinking and be on the road to feeling good again. Well, I know that you've been hurting. You accept that hurt, you know. One day you'll turn around and love will find you. May you never leave its road. Whoa, 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 whoa. We misused our word. You were into butterflies, I'm more into birds. Picking and grinning, smoking and painting. Two struggling artists tired of waiting. My mind darts back and forth. Tongue carved the path, you floated up north. I thought there was a woman, but you'd never tell. Just know through it all, I still wish you well. It's plain to see, taking life far too seriously, got to still the mind, unwind, enjoy the ride. And I've been pondering what it is you're searching for, and all of you wondering, hope you're on the road to feeling good again. Said I hope you're on the road to feeling good again.
That I could roll around, you know, and just Oh, we're back. Hello, my cats and kittens. We are back
laugh.
at do what?
Just laugh, you know, like when they come back and they're laughing, like, ha.
This is the casual thing. It's supposed to look like we actually know what we're doing. Yeah, that's going to work. All right, we are back. It is Doggie Time, and it is about time that we heard from the lovely Jade Nickol. So
yeah.
are you ready to do this?
Totally.
So without further ado, Jade Nickol.
Hey,
Do the thing, girl.
Thanks, Doggie.
Yeah, you're welcome. Don't mess it up. No pressure.
Try not to.
Okay.
So, hey guys. Yeah.
On the air now.
All right, we good?
Technical error. Go
Oh
for
my
it,
God.
Jade.
Should we try this?
It's all
again?
good.
Okay, let's try this.
No,
again.
we're good.
We're good?
Okay.
Okay.
Do the thing. Do the
Just
thing.
a quick, that meant to happen, y'all. Like, I was ready for that. So
This
yeah,
comedy.
I know. So yeah, my name's Jade, and I'm gonna play some songs for y'all on the guitar. So this first one is called "The Boy Everybody Knows," and I wrote this because, you know, I live in a small town, and it's pretty much when it doesn't work out between you and someone that also lives in that small town, but you just like can't escape them because, yeah, they know everybody. So kind of gets the idea. So yeah. Oh my God, another person has asked how you are. I never know what to say, so I smile politely, shrug my shoulders, say he might be touring the USA. I swear everywhere I go, every gig and every show, someone brings you up. You're a star in a small town. Why do I live in a small town? I need to get out, but how do you forget someone so proud to live in a town where everybody knows everybody? And how but you don't need to know. And everybody wants to be like you. I know I did once too, so how do I let go of the boy everybody knows? Everybody knows. It's almost been a year since we last talked. That doesn't seem to stop them from talking. They say you left because of me. They say I'm here because of you. They just keep talking. Maybe one day they'll learn the truth. But how do you forget someone so bright in a town where everybody knows everybody? And how do you resist when they wanna tell you how he's been? But you don't need to know. And everybody wants to be like you. I know I did once too, so how do I let go of the boy everybody knows? Everybody knows. I wish you were talented. I wish you were plain. I wish everybody could forget your name. I wish they would stop inviting me to your shows. Maybe then I could forget the boy everybody knows. How do I forget? How do I let go? How do I forget the boy that everybody knows? How do I forget? How do I let go? How do I forget the boy that everybody knows? Yeah. So yeah, that's that song. I like that song. So this next song that I will be doing is one that I wrote a few months ago, and it's called Happy Birthday. And it's not like the happy birthday you think it is, but I just thought I'd name it Happy Birthday. I was kind of in a birthday mood, so hope you guys like it. That night is winding down, the hours are going by. I haven't thought about you, but I just cannot lie. It's just a simple day, no better than the rest. Tomorrow will come and go, but today is something different. I hope you know I'm thinking of you. Oh, I can't stop thinking of you. There is no confetti, there are no balloons. happy birthday. There is so much that I never got to say, like I love you. Well, happy birthday. Yeah, so that's that one. Yeah, stay on the same. Alright, so this last one that I'll be doing is one called Before You, and it's more like chill, relax. So yeah, I hope you guys like it. Before you, I never looked up at the stars, never made a wish or gaze, 'cause they were just too far. And before you, I only talked and I was told, only called when you said you were not home. Before you, I never strayed from the sidewalk, never left my door unlocked, accidentally on purpose, but now I dance in the street. Now I sometimes leave my key exactly where you remember, 'cause we are lightning and thunder, miracles and wonder, lightning and thunder. One day I'll go under. And with you, I only avoided the truth. You were poison to my heart, and I was chaos to you. And with you, I only talked and I was told, only called when you said you weren't at home. And with you, I found the beauty in disaster, drowned my fears out with laughter of us. But now I see black and white, now I listen to my mind when it's telling me we are lightning and thunder, miracles and wonder, dangerously lovers. One day we'll go under. And since you, I still look up at the stars. I close the book when they say love isn't hard. And since you, I only believe in what I know. And now I'm left with no one to show. And since you, I still see beauty in our mess. Maybe one day my heart will be put to rest. Thank you. Yeah, those are my songs, my tunes.
I'm gonna scoot through here. This
Scoot.
is the professional part of the show. Can I use these?
You can do that too.
Whoop, and knock the
Yeah, you can knock that down
knock the
too.
studio over. And
It'll be
I've done
memorable.
this a million times. That's great. So here we go. Ready? That was lovely.
That was smooth.
That was smooth. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was very nice. That was very nice. And yes, there's a wee bit of a difference between the keyboard songs and the guitar songs. And a little more earthy.
Yeah.
You know, and definitely folky.
Yes.
You know, didn't hear so much country in there, but that's a good thing. I heard Jade, and that's what
I'm glad.
Very cool. So totally didn't suck.
Awesome.
Well done, girl.
That's what I aim for.
That's what we all shoot for. So.
That's what I hope.
All right, love. Well, we're not going to let you get out of here unscathed.
Of course.
So we're going to do a bump. You've walked down this road before.
I have.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. So,
The infamous bump.
The infamous bump. Yes, got that quite a collection of them now, and really terrible.
Should put together like an album of them.
I know.
The bumps.
The world's worst bump. So here it is. This is Jade Nickol, and you are tuned in to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
Okay.
There you go. At your leisure.
Okay. Okay. All right.
You thought you had this.
I know.
didn't you?
Now I'm getting nervous.
This is my favorite
I've done it
part.
like twice, and I'm so nervous. All right. So, hi. You. No. Okay.
You got to look at the camera.
I know, right? Okay. Hey guys. So I'm Jade Nickol, and you're tuned in to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
I knew that you could.
I knew that you knew I could.
I knew that you knew that I knew that you could.
Yep. I couldn't go any farther.
Not gonna go farther
I'm not
than
gonna
that.
go farther than that.
All right, my cats and kittens, that's what we have for our first hour. We'd like to thank Jade for coming in and doing the thing.
Thanks.
And that was awesome. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
And we'd like to thank producer extraordinaire for pushing the buttons over there, Jake
Heck
Laughlin. And
Shout out.
we are going to take a little bit of a break here. The second hour is coming up, so don't go anywhere. We've got the lovely, talented, and incredibly frightening Brian Kane is going to be with us tonight. So we got that to look forward to.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like consciousness at the end of your end of your life. you
Right.
know. Right before you fall off that bridge.
Uh-huh.
You know, you
see it
know
all.
everything.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to do. We are from the Mighty Vic in downtown Denton, DentonRadio.com. I am Bone Doggie, and we've got a whole nother hour of music and frivolity coming at you. So we'll play some videos. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. Push the button, Max.
Honey, reach for me in the middle of the night when we are all alone. There ain't nobody to stop us now, so come on, let me warm your bones. Oh, honey, reach for me when we are all alone in the middle of the night. 'Cause I know that we both been hurt for so long, but we can make it right. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I wanna give to you all that I've shown when we are all alone. Here's your invitation, I'm giving you the green
Manuel, all the stories that you tell, how I love to hear you say it. How you left your home and all you've known, and that girl that got away. How you wished you would have stayed. Manuel, the many miles, many trials you have faced, but still you came on. Across the desert, in the sand, wanting water in your hand, you had wanted to die. Manuel, the stars were your disguise, and they seem to have left their imprint in your eyes. No one will know all that you have done, but I can write you this song for Manuel. Through all the hell when you sat in your tiny little cell, yet you still wish no one any wrong. They almost stole your soul every time you'd go and try and seek that better life. Why so much strife? Manuel, the stars were your disguise, and they seem to have left their imprint in your eyes. No one will know all that you have done, so I had to write you this song for Manuel. Mexico seems so long ago in San Luis Potosí. You ask me how come I've had to come so far just not to be free. Says why can't they see? Oh, Manuel, the stars were your disguise. They seem to have left their imprint in your eyes. No one will know all that you have done, so I sat down and wrote you this song. I want the world to sing this song for Manuel.
Was that the Right Reverend Billy Ratcliffe that was playing there, or who is that?
That was Vince Dupont.
Oh, okay. You heard? Did you hear that Billy Ratcliffe got married?
No.
Yes. Celebration and pictures and stuff on Facebook.
Who'd have thunk it?
I don't know.
Good for him.
That's pretty awesome. The Right Reverend Billy Ratcliffe got married. Hi, how you doing?
Hey, I'm all right.
Good to see you. You're not Jade. You've
Sorry,
changed.
I have the face for radio, but here we are.
There, I know. Here we are. Yes, the operation went really well.
Thanks.
Pause. Pause up, my cats and kittens. We are back for the second hour of this mess, which is Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com. I'm getting this right. Don't get it down. We are at the Mighty Vic, downtown Denton, 111 Hickory Street, the Visitors Information Center Bureau thing, and the lovely DentonRadio.com studio. Pretty awesome. And we drug this guy in off the street, have no idea who he is. That's not true. This is the lovely and talented Brian King. So there you are.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. And it's good to see you again. Good to see you again. We see a lot of each other lately, don't we?
Well, that's been nice.
It has been. It's been awesome.
It's enhanced my life.
Yeah, has it really? Scared the snot out of me.
Yeah. Well.
No, we've actually been playing some gigs together.
Yes.
We have. That's been a blast.
It's been a pretty busy 2017.
I think so.
With the collective and all the dates we've done.
We did Halloween. And we did, what was the other one?
Well, we started the year right around the 1st of February. We were at the Point Bank Black Box Theater.
That's right, the Black Box Theater. And you kind of jumped in on that one. That was kind of neat. There's, it was had a hole there and give you a shout. And like a trooper, you just jumped in with both feet and kind of took over. And that was pretty awesome.
Just jumped in. With the Wolves.
With the Wolves.
That was a really neat show.
That was.
Yeah.
The audience didn't quite understand at first, but I think they got into it. It was music and a little bit of theater, a little bit of dance. We had 2 belly dancers, and we had 1 burlesque dancer.
Right.
And that made the evening quite interesting. We did the whole thing in 2 acts, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was kind of neat. I enjoyed it because the music, we played some really old tunes, and that was kind of neat. Mac the Knife and some stuff like that. So that was that the first time that we had gigged together?
It was
a first real gig.
Unbelievably, yeah. We've talked about it, since probably 2012 or something like that.
Yeah, for years. And for those of you who don't know my Cats and Kittens, you at one time were in Bounce House Cathedral, which is still in my top 5 all-time best band names.
Thanks. I still feel bad that it kind of disbanded because I want to reuse the
You want to reuse the name? Well, you can. It's your name, right? Or was it?
It is, yeah. It's my name. I actually ended up writing a song about it.
Yes.
Just to muddy the waters and make it more confusing.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a great strategy as far as I'm concerned. It's just muck it up, and then nobody can figure out what goes on. If they don't know what's happening, then they can't gripe about it.
That's a really good perspective on that. Yeah.
It's one I've used many times. That's how I've made my career for most of the time. So, but yeah, you did Bounce House Cathedral, and then before that, one of the original bands on the air for DentonRadio.com, Contingency Clause.
That's right.
Yes, and I still have that first set of recordings that you guys released, believe it or not.
I appreciate it.
Somewhere they're in the back dark recesses of my computer. So the PC, not the.
You might have the only remaining copies, so you might want to back it up.
I'll do that.
I don't think it's online.
It's way back there. There's a folder that's got cobwebs on it. It says DentonRadio.com, and there's some stuff on there, man. And Bounce House Cathedral, or not Contingency Clauses there. And I remember we did several gigs up at Two Charlies. Remember that on the back porch there before they did it all up?
Yeah, we did. The first one, well, maybe it wasn't the first one, but the one that sticks out most to me was when we did Oktoberfest up at Two Charlies.
Yeah.
I found the shirt the other day.
Oh, did you really?
With all the band names on the back.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, Matt Grigsby was there.
Yep.
And
it was quite the evening.
Yeah, Jambunctious.
Oh, my gosh.
Just to go back a little bit.
Yeah, seriously. Those guys they're scattered. But there's still a lot of them are still playing around in town, and Soul Patrol I think was half of Jambunctious, or vice versa, one of the two. So that went on. And then, since then we've all grown up. We've all gone on to greener pastures. You now have do you have set band members, or are you kind of like the collective? You just bring in a different bunch every time.
Kind of in between.
Right.
Now I just bill it as my name,
right,
and book the show, and then I have kind of my set people that I'm comfortable with.
I'm enjoying that. Are you enjoying that as compared to having a regular band?
I love it. I love it because we can max out and we can have the whole crew,
right,
5 people, and we can.
It's a good number, 5.
We can expand the harmonies up to 4-part harmonies in that situation, and 2 guitars. Or we could do like what we did at your open mic last week, where
it was you and Edgar Derby.
It just and just
that
do
was
the
so
2-piece.
awesome. I was actually expecting the entourage, but just you and Edgar showed up, and that was so cool. It sounded just brilliant.
I appreciate it,
Yeah.
and so that is the appeal of it for me is instead of it has to be the band or bust or the performance cannot happen.
Right.
Since I knew that I was wanting to do my own material anyway and focus on that with this, then, it just, the more I thought about it, the more obvious it was that was the right way to go about it.
Different lineups for different venues, and
definitely.
Some places lend themselves to large audiences and some places don't.
Exactly right.
That is very
exactly
cool.
right.
But when in doubt, I don't know about you, I go to 5. And that doesn't always count me, but, it covers all the bases.
It's a nice, it allows, a 5-piece allows a really nice, strong sound.
Yep.
You can strip away as many layers as you need.
True.
You can only add so many layers depending on who you have on stage. And it helps mask, as sort of an unnatural lead man. It helps mask any sort of insecurities or inability to play any super, complex or really involved parts.
Right.
Sometimes through the song, it helps to have some augmentation outside of that.
Yes, it does. I was just thinking is just one of the beautiful things about it is what you do is you surround yourself with people that can play lead. Yeah, and that way, okay, there's 2 minutes over there, and there's 2 minutes over there.
People who can take a lead part,
but
also enjoy just sort of going into the rhythm section and taking a back seat and exploring the nuances of what you can do.
Yes.
With any given tune.
Playing rhythm is I think underrated. It is one of the most important things, and not everybody can do it. They just immediately jump out front, or they're all over somebody's toes, or something like that.
Right, and the people that are in my group, we got right now Edgar Derby, as you mentioned,
plays guitar for all of us. Yes.
Garrett Phelps,
who's
a man about town. Often on bass, recently at least, but he's playing guitar as well.
Garrett comes from a long line of bass players.
Right.
His daddy's Drew Phelps, and Nathan, his brother,
I
believe also plays bass. And so
that's right.
But Garrett will whip out a guitar every now and then if need be.
Yeah, and he's pretty
good. Yeah, he's pretty
good.
Yep.
So happy to have him along, and then and Ray Chan, who I met through Slightly Highly Lovely, and so in that group she's playing rhythm guitar and one of the lead members of Slightly Highly Lovely, and in this group she's a bassist.
Yeah, well, so that was funny is first time I met Ray, she was playing bass for Copper Root for a gig, and it was an Oktoberfest gig. It was the hottest. Oh my gosh, we were sitting on Fry Street, literally frying, because my band was playing at 6 o'clock in the evening, and the sun was like right there, and it was of course it was October in Denton, so it was 90 degrees, and we all fried. But that's what I met Rach, and I knew her as a bass player before I'd seen her do anything else. So it's a versatile bunch, and I like that. It's like you say, different people, different lineups, things like that.
Exactly. And so that's the criteria at this point. I don't think I'm not going to keep building the group, but the criteria for me, as far as a band member, be working around some of the changes of the songs, obviously, and obviously craft is an essential part of it.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely.
But for me, just what I've learned over time is the personalities.
Yes.
That aspect is just essential. I just wouldn't have a band if it didn't mesh as people.
Right.
we were just able.
Chemistry
to
is a big thing about it, and
it is for the music,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, for me going out and performing, and having that, I hate to admit it, but I'm kind of an externally motivated person,
Mm-hmm.
and
so you feed.
Exactly.
Yes.
I really do.
I don't think that's something to hate to admit. I think it's a natural process, and it's wonderful when you can do it. Some people can't, and they just they've got to be it all, and they're more extrovert than they are introvert. And the thing is, if you're performing and you are able to suck up some of that energy, bam, it just takes everything off in another direction. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. That was one of the ideas behind the collective. And which is one of the reasons I call you. And this is funny is you've been in the collective for about a year now. We're all using Gary Chase to play hand percussion, and Matt Hall from Molotov Dogs, Reverend Matt, he's been playing bass for a while.
Yeah, fantastic.
Ray Chan shows up, and we use some of the same guys. One of the people you brought to the table that I am most thankful for is Brother Ryan
Ryan Daher.
Daher, that's how you say it.
He's
He's a saxophone player and just angelic. He's just amazing.
He is something else. He primarily right now plays in Dallas. He's in a group called BJ Stricker and the Kings. And they're doing an album release show in Deep Ellum.
Nice.
Next week on Friday the 8th. Here's my plug for their band.
There you go.
But
we're an incestuous bunch. Go ahead.
He's really been hitting it on Dallas, and he was excited to come up and do this for a couple reasons. For
the Halloween show and
for the Halloween show that we did,
yeah.
And I think some more to come. I think he's into it. He first of all, it was selfish for us. We went to high school together.
Nice.
We high school buds.
Right.
And we hadn't performed together, in over a decade.
Wow.
So the opportunity to get together and play on stage.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Really, it was a really tantalizing prospect. And then this opened up, and he had been out to play at the LSA stage up here twice with BJ Stricker and the Kings.
Right.
But he didn't have the opportunity to that point to play with Denton musicians,
right,
and be a part of the Denton scene.
Yeah,
and
that's kind of neat.
This afforded him that opportunity, and so
I did not know all of that, but that's awesome. I love that. That's very cool. And
so,
he'd fit right in, man. He's just wacky as everybody else was. So
yeah,
and plus, what I loved about it is the way that we attacked when we did Halloween, and we did the 50s and 60s style. Right, it was kind of like your wheelhouse.
Oh man,
it's not totally your wheelhouse, but I mean, you were home.
I had a blast.
It was
a lot of the keyboard technique in those songs really is just sort of as long as you can keep this kind of
the Jerry Lee Lewis thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you watch Jerry Lee Lewis, if you watch footage of him and watch his boogie woogie bass line, you see he's clomping sometimes 3 keys at a time down,
and beating on it up here too. Yeah.
But the percussive, he's got that bass percussion down enough that it just sounds it sounds muddy, but it sounds like it belongs.
It's rock and roll.
It's rock and roll.
Rock and roll. You throw a saxophone on top of that and upright bass. It was very cool. I loved the sound of it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And we're gonna turn around. We're gonna do it again in February. But it's going to go darker. It's going to go to a darker purpose this coming February as we're actually going to be playing my stuff.
And I just have the feeling that it was inevitable. This needed to happen. What's cool in the shows that I've played with you and the collective, each set of songs that we take on for these different performances, that basically kind of like seasonal performances we've done.
Very much so. Yeah, Valentine's, Halloween so far. So
And each of these shows have taken a different tone, and kind of a timbre in the sets that you've curated and put together.
I've curated. Have you heard? Do you hear this? You listen to this guy? keep going. Sorry.
All right, I made a big mistake.
No, that was
just
awesome.
now.
I love it.
No.
But you're right. I mean, it has been deliberate that each set has been really different from the last one.
Oh, definitely.
You know?
I mean, yeah, we haven't even talked about the Tom Waits program
Tom Waits
that we did
show,
for your birthday.
Yes. And then, yeah, that was a blast. That was so much fun, and we're probably going to end up doing that again. I'm starting to get requests that people want to hear the Tom Waits show again.
Yeah, it had great reaction.
Yeah. So
absolutely. I mean, the tunes, it all starts with those songs, but the way you approach those songs, it jives really well. There's a really and I think it really resonated well.
I think it's kind of natural for me to go Tom Waits. I don't know why. It just pops out. But the thing is, one of the things I loved about doing that gig is you and Edgar, Matt, Gary, and we had Ryan. A different Ryan,
right?
Sitting in and playing saxophone at the last minute, but you guys just jumped on the material. That is material with scope. If you haven't listened to Tom Waits, My Cats and Kittens, dive into it for a little while. My suggestion is start off with Rain Dogs, and then go quickly to Swordfish Trombones, and your music life will change forever. I kid you not. And when I introduced those songs to you guys, all of you just jumped on it with both feet because it's so much there. And it's, I'll never forget your face when I said, okay, you have to start this song with a solo and you have to play out of key.
Yeah.
and you just looked at me. I could tell the wheels were turning, but at the same time, the expression on your face was, okay, he's finally lost it. He's done. Nope, start. But you did it. You actually worked up an intro to a song out of key. That's the height of professionalism, as far as I'm concerned. Not everybody would attempt that.
Thank you. The fact that you would be willing to pay me for that is
it was a pleasure.
I landed on a dream job, man.
There you go. I'm getting paid for playing out of key.
Finally.
Yeah.
I usually do it for free.
And we managed. We managed to get blown off the stage at Arts and Jazz before that too, didn't we? Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was fun. That was
a blast.
Was that the one? That
With
was
Polly?
that was the performance right after we showed up to Gainesville in the midst of a tornado warning.
Yes, that's right. So we didn't get blown out there, but we definitely got blown out at Arts and Jazz.
Yes.
And you look up and there's a music stand coming at you, and it's got sharp edges, and I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna die, and then sheet music flying all over the place.
Oh man,
so it
was sort of punctuated by. I think at the end you just kicked your stand off the stage, as I saw it.
It was going to kill me.
It just fell, and you just, nope.
Nope, I'm done. You're not going to hurt me.
Luckily, there were no young children right below this. No,
they wouldn't dare. They all got blown down the street anyway.
Yeah,
that was. I've played in some pretty nasty situations as far as weather goes, but that wasn't the worst. But it certainly was unnerving. It was hard to concentrate a little bit. But yeah,
it was. Right. It was good experience. I mean, anything like that. That's the positive spin on it. Is it, it's good experience.
Well,
but
it's always fun to play Arts and Jazz, and we do it every
year,
and going to do it again this year, and hopefully the weather will be better.
That was just a North Texas thing. You just you play outside. You play the percentages.
And like I say, in the week before that in Gainesville, where we had the tornado come along. So
and I'm someone who gets pretty squirrely in the spring when the severe weather comes in. Yeah, I don't like tornadoes. So
I grew up with them, so I'm kind of used to them.
As I'm driving up 35 and I'm looking at these clouds,
they loom.
I'm about to call Doggie. I don't know.
Come on, man. If you're gonna die, you might as well do it this way.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's pizza.
Isn't that the way we all want to go out?
That's the way we want to
doing our thing.
That's right. Going to a gig, get blown off the highway, and die. That's awesome.
Right.
Hopefully,
we will either be playing the music, eating the pizza, or drinking the beer. Right. I mean.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's all you can ask for. Yes.
So,
that's one side of it. One side of it.
A built-in memorial service for whoever didn't make it. He was a great bass player. Cheers to him. He was awesome. So, speaking of wheelhouses, And I've always said this is one of my favorite things about what you do is, and I think we had this conversation when I first heard you. Your music, you have a definite old school 60s English vibe to it. And I think I brought that up to you once before. When I first heard you, it was so much like the early Who, you know, which is my roots. That's my absolute roots is the Who. And you know, it reminded me so much of you know, like the Happy Jack stuff and you know, before they got into super heavy R&B stuff, you know, the pop stuff that they were doing.
Oh, and yeah, the Who Sellout was one of my
that's a brilliant
favorite albums
yes.
when I was first starting to write music. Starting to write, you know, like lyrical pop rock songs.
Right.
15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
You know, just had to, you know, you have to get your bad ones out of the way. Have to start sometime. But
they're all brilliant at that point. What do you mean bad ones?
Anything on the page is brilliant.
That's
then,
right,
you know?
man.
But the Who Sellout was definitely one of the big albums I was playing at the time. As far as the way it actually comes out and is performed, you know, I like to imagine I'm trying to imitate Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys singing.
You had mentioned that the Beach Boys was a big influence.
Oh, huge, especially as far as the harmonies and that sort of thing.
I don't think they get the credit, you know, and they certainly don't get to play. I mean, you hear Good Vibrations, which is a great tune, and some of the, you know, Little Deuce Coupe and some of the really poppy stuff. But back in those days, you had an album, and that stuff on the B side of the album was just innovative for that time. You know,
yeah.
It was rock and roll, but how many different ways could you play it? Well, they'd show you. You know, and the Beach
definitely.
Boys, their scope was just amazing.
Yeah, well, that was an interesting time. I mean, that was basically the only American group in the mid-'60s competing with the Beatles.
True.
More or less on a consistent basis there for a
yes.
couple of years.
Yeah.
So you know, Brian Wilson stopped touring to produce those tracks,
right?
And then when the guys would come in from anywhere around the world, they would lay it down on those tracks. So they had a unique opportunity there to sort of help push the envelope. And so I definitely took a lot from that, but even less from the, you know, it's one thing. It's amazing that they had so many top 40 number one hits that we all know, the surfing stuff.
Right.
But what felt like this undiscovered treasure at the time when I found it were these songs that all came after their popularity went away.
Yeah.
When they realized they were no longer going to reclaim what they had as far as
right, and they were growing up. They weren't teenagers anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, they're approaching about 30 years old, and so they kind of their performance, their attitudes, everything was more laid back. The pressure was off.
Yeah,
and they
used
a great
way to put that. Yeah,
they used that vocal blend, but then they started applying it to these different types of orchestrations and rock arrangements. It's really fascinating.
Their arrangements got a little bit more adventurous. They were still very Western, but there was a period. Yeah. There was a period there where everybody, you know, when the Eastern influence, you know, and that. I guess it's the Lydian mode or whatever it is. That Lydian mode, is that it?
That's right.
The Lydian mode is the Eastern mode. When that popped up and everybody started adding a little bit of that in it, whether it was instruments or whether it was just chord changes and things like that, everybody went through that phase. And I think that a lot of bands really grabbed onto that, and it sent them in another direction. You know, it sent them in a more experimental direction.
Very true. Yeah. And, you know, one of the something that is like the subtle, what I would argue is subtle greatness about like that band, the Beach Boys, is that they would take an influence like that, and instead of where every other band would follow the Beatles and put sitar on the track, they would find a different way to work it in. Yeah, it would either be some sort of drone voice line,
right,
or you know it'd be
because
baritone saxophones or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, they had the voices to do that, but yeah, they would bring in horns and do that. Coltrane was huge into Eastern music, and you know he was doing the bebop, which you know I personally, I like Miles because Miles Davis was a linear jazz, especially blues jazz, whereas Train was vertical, and chord hits, chord hits, But the thing is, he had a really strong Eastern influence to the later stuff, like, Giant Steps and what was Love Supreme and stuff like that, And there were a few bands in rock and roll that attempted it. Some of them pulled it off. Not everybody, but
some of them, I give a lot of credit to the groups that took that and weren't just Beatles copycats, that
right.
actually found a way to make it not, trite
right.
and kitschy, as many groups did at the time.
Did you run across anybody in those days? You were playing piano at a very early age, right? You started out on piano.
8.
At 8.
Yeah, at 8.
See, you beat me. I didn't start until I was about 16, and I was playing percussion. I was playing drums.
Right.
My first taste of tuned percussion came when I was like a junior in high school, and because I was having a discussion with somebody about this today. Is I did not do marching band. Played drums. I played jazz band, and the reason I didn't play marching band is because I didn't want to march in parades behind horses. It wasn't going to happen. It's just no. So I didn't want to march.
Good on you.
Yeah. But did you come across somebody at that time that just went, hey, and it grabbed you and set you off in a whole different world?
Andrew Bird, who
the current Andrew Bird, who does what is it? What's the current guy out there called Andrew Bird that's running around?
No.
Okay.
No, he's.
This is another Andrew Bird.
Yeah, he's more well known in other circles anyway. You're talking like an artist, like a popular recording artist.
Yeah, there's somebody out there running around now called Andrew Bird.
Well, he's still doing stuff. Yeah.
Is it the same guy? He doesn't look that old.
We'll compare notes after the show.
We're gonna have to.
No, he's not that old.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's the same guy then. Does he play violin?
Yes.
That's the same guy.
Oh,
okay. Wow. That's interesting. There we go.
Because of I think we talked about this maybe the last time it was on the show that with my dad being in radio, there were so many of those older influences played around the house on a consistent basis. So
right.
the availability to that music was easy.
Yeah.
But as far as a contemporaneous artist that really just kind of socked me and made me reapproach how to try to compose songs, it was Andrew Bird.
I could see that because his stuff is really adventurous.
It is. In 2005, I think, is when Mysterious Production of Eggs was released, which was kind of, for him, it was a bit of a sea change musically.
Right.
In his focus of genre or subgenre, whatever.
Yeah.
Those songs really resonated with me. And then the album he put out a couple years later, Armchair Apocrypha.
Yes, I've heard
was
that
kind
one.
of a continuation of that type of sound. And so, as an artist, seeing those and then going back and listening to his musicality with his jazzier stuff that he started with, and then just tracking him from there.
Well, my first taste of him was I had my Tom Waits page on Pandora, and he's one of the usual artists that pops up on that particular station, and I had no idea that he'd been around for that long.
About 20 years at this point.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's
That's
prodigy
awesome.
at violin and whistling. I mean, his whistling.
Yes, he can whistle.
It's incredible. But, yeah, just the way he went about constructing a song, and also it took me a long time to actually have the show and the craft, but his lyricism and the way he approached the syllables and the sounds of words and his diction, very deliberate word choices.
Yes.
And he uses sort of a conventional vocabulary, but not in a forced way.
Right.
You're just very natural and to my ear, conversational in the way that he writes a lot of songs, especially from that period. So that really hit me.
That's interesting. I think for me lyrically, well, yeah, definitely for me lyrically was Jethro Tull. Ian Anderson is quite the wordsmith, and the same way is not forced, it's not contrived. It's very conversational, especially when you hear interviews with him. He talks exactly the same way as he sings, basically. Except he doesn't rhyme all the time. But he doesn't rhyme all the time when he sings. And that was when I first heard that concept, I thought that was awesome. Hey, he's singing lyrics that don't rhyme. This is brilliant. That means you could say anything. You know, you just have to make it fit in the meter.
Yeah.
You know, so that was quite the revelation.
Isn't that interesting? It's a very liberating thought. That
it is.
Who wrote the rules, right? If it doesn't rhyme but it sounds good
to do,
then why can't you do it? So.
It's very, very liberating. Another liberating thing was when I finally discovered, because I'd played in cover bands and stuff like that, when I finally discovered that you do not have to play it like the album. You can expand on it. And when I realized that, I think I was about 18 years old or 19 years old. I'd been playing bass for about a year. And it dawned on me, I don't have to play like the record. You know, I'm with a band that likes to improvise, and we played some pretty complicated stuff, and we made it even more complicated just because we could. You know, and I mean, I'm rewriting Geddy Lee, you know, because we had a singer that could sing Rush, so we played a lot of Rush, and
Nice.
I'm rewriting those bass parts because I think he could have added here, you know, and added here and things like that.
Yeah,
It's a liberation. It's just, but it gives you a perspective. The way you approach music changes. You know, I can do this, and yeah, it's a constant change.
And it's you're absolutely right, and it's just then you can start to break down barriers, and most of it's just in between here.
Yeah.
You just break down those barriers, and when you realize,
more the better.
Yeah.
And then I don't know about you, I find a new obsession about once a month. Actually, I go looking for them. And I think we had found Harry Parch, who liked to mess with demitones, and actually built the instruments to play them. So look on YouTube, find Harry Parch, and sit down with some popcorn because it's going to freak you out. And then I found John Cage, who was an experimental composer in the classical world, and everybody hated him because he did the cliche. He did the one. It was something in 3 movements. I think it's called 432. It's
right, yes.
4 minutes and 32 seconds long of somebody sitting behind a piano doing nothing. The noise in the room, the air conditioner, the breathing, the coughing and stuff like that, that is the music to that piece. Yeah. And what's really hysterical is during that piece, the person sitting at the piano will literally turn the page to the sheet music, which is blank.
I love it.
I saw people hated it. When he first did it, they wanted to string him up and just, you know, let him die out there in public. But, yeah, he actually, and I think that's where the cliche come from. You know, there was that type of thing floating around, but he actually did something like that. Smashing window panes during pieces, you know, where the cello player would do a line and then grab a hammer and smash a window pane and then go right back to playing. Stuff like that.
It doesn't always work, but nobody says you can't.
You can't try
that
it.
Stuff
yeah,
in
and
music.
if you don't try it, you'll never know if it would have worked or not. You know, but God knows what you could find. I'm beating on pots and pans at the house right now, much to my wife's chagrin.
Right.
Yeah, I've got half the kitchen in my music room.
Yeah, I have some stories too.
Yeah. You just find stuff, and found objects is another thing. This, you know, the Electric Junkyard. Have you heard of this bunch? I'll send you the link. Their entire ensemble is found instruments that they made, that they took and built into other things. There's a whole xylophone of flower pots. And when they tour, they have to take many, many, many flower pots with them because they break. The player gets really off into it, you know. But rubber band things and stuff like that. So, you know, but like I said, I'm at the point now to where I go looking for a new obsession about once a month. And sometimes it'll, you know, it went through Dire Straits for a while. There's another lyricist, is Martin Offler. He had that urban slang.
Yeah, right.
You know, lots of urban slang in there, which was kind of neat.
Yeah, it was nice.
1980s.
That's a good way that he could, in a commercial way, project his own voice into the work.
Certainly did.
Creative way to do it.
Speaking of projecting, I think it's about time. Would you like to play a couple tunes for us? I think that would be awesome.
That sounds great.
All right. Well, why don't we do that then? We could sit here and talk about this for hours, which we've done before anyway. Yeah. So Brian and I get together and do this about once a month. So, all right, my cats and kittens. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we're going to come back, and Brother Brian King is going to grace us with a couple tunes. So you are tuned into Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com. Don't go leave the neighborhood. Don't go leave the neighborhood. Don't leave the neighborhood. We'll be right back. Push the button, Max.
Headed out as soon as I came of age. Only came back for some holidays. One by one my family turned the page. Now they're all dead and in the ground. I've no reason to come around. Now I'm a stranger in my hometown. Where I'm from, we all play for the red team. We all share the same morality. Other voices won't be heard no matter what they scream. If you vote blue, they'll put you down. I no longer hang around. That's why I'm a stranger in my hometown. Message in the church pews, it's always been the same. It's fire and brimstone, sinners and shame. But you can't find the source of love in the fear of the flame. No, I'm no longer heaven bound, since I no longer hang around. That's why I'm a stranger in my hometown. Now I found a new place to return from where I roam. I can be myself and not have to be alone. Wherever you are raised doesn't have to be your home. Home is where you settle down, where you love to hang around. And now I'm proud to be a stranger to my hometown.
And we are back, my cats and kittens. You're tuned into Doggie Time. And what better way to go out this week than with a couple songs from Brian King. So without further ado, and much riffraff in between, take it away, Brian. Don't screw it up. No pressure.
Appreciate it.
Hotel rooms, magical mushrooms, micro lamplight, too bright, brother sleeping, but I'm doing the dreaming. I feel the void, but I can't see it. I can't seem to feel it, but I have to live with it. They don't call it vulnerable. They don't call it vulnerable. Hoes don't come to me. Songs come to me. Hoes don't come to me. Songs come to me. 40 days, 40 nights, I fit them all into February. 'Cause time is short, of this I'm sure. I have the feeling that I'm losing my beat. I feel the void, but I can't see it. I can't seem to feel it, but I have to live with it. They don't call it vulnerable, no. They don't call it vulnerable. Hoes don't come to me. Songs come to me. Hoes don't come to me. Songs come to me. Hoes don't come to me. Songs come to me. Hoes don't come to me. Songs come to me. Hoes don't come to me. Songs come to me. Hoes don't come to me. Songs come to me. Hoes don't come to me. Songs come to me.
All right. Well, that one was called Void. Now I'll do a song called The News. Kind of based off of some of that quasi-kitschy stuff that Bone Doggie and I were talking about from the 60s.
Caught us in their web of the poles and the spread and the blue and the red, evermore, evermore. What else can I do when I turn on the news than to get a little loose? Give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. Claim it's just a phase when we call for a change. Guess we're all a bit deranged, evermore, evermore. Can't
the chills evermore, evermore. Get into the groove of the pipe and the brew and the thrill of cable news. Give me more, give me more. I just can't turn off the news. Untie the news. Turn off the news. Untie the news. I just can't turn off the news. Untie the news. Turn off the news. Untie the news. I just can't turn off the news. I just can't turn off the news. Just can't turn off the news. Just can't turn off the news. Just can't turn off the news.
All right, that was awesome. We'll do the headphones.
Right on.
Back over here again. There we go. So let me get in camera without knocking the scenery over again. So, am I on camera? Where am I? Get me there.
You're close on camera.
There we go. Modern technology. There we go. Am I back? I'm back. That was well done. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Especially the second song, I loved it. The way you, the change at the end and all of that. But that's the Brian King thing. That whole tune right there is just, that. Who goes ba 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 anymore? Nobody. You do. That's awesome. That's
right.
I know. You do a ba ba ba, and I have 50 points for that.
Thank you.
That's what I want to do, a ba ba ba.
It's one of the hardest lyrics I've ever written. Was the decision that needs to go in the song.
It works for you. Can pull it off. And if you would like to see more of this, My Cats and Kittens, I know it's a little bit off. It's a little farther off, but February 2nd. At Abbey Underground, we're going to have Brian King. It's going to be a singer-songwriter storyteller, because a lot of your songs are stories, and that's basically what the criteria was. So we're going to have Matt Grigsby, Ellie Meyer, Brian King, Edgar Derby is going to be with us, and of course Bone Doggie and the Collective. So you're going to play in the Collective as well.
Yes.
And it's going to be just quite the evening.
Yes, that's a stacked night.
It is. It is a totally stacked night.
Yes.
So I'm kind of pumped about it. We're starting to work on it, and it's just going to be a night of weird stories and a lot of really good music and musicians.
I think
Seriously,
Yes.
It's going to be like you say, a stacked night. I like that.
Yes, February
2nd.
Groundhog's Day.
That's true.
At the Abbey Underground.
That's right.
Here in our Fairburg, just around the corner from where we are broadcasting.
That's
now.
right. That's right. Here at the Mighty Vic, and around the corner at the Mighty Underground. And if we pop our heads out at 2:00 in the morning and the sun is not out, then it springs on. I guess that's how it works. I can't remember how Groundhog Day works.
That's how it works at 2
a.m. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's going to be winter for the next 35 minutes. Okay, good. So, well, appreciate you coming by. Thank you so much for doing this. We will do it again. And I've got to do the bump. So let's see. How does it go? Do you remember? Oh, this is Brian King, and you are tuned in to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com. That's the one.
Hi, this is Brian King, and you're tuned into Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
I knew that you could. You did that perfect. That's awesome. It was no frills. All right. Well, thank you, my cats and kittens. We will say goodbye for another couple weeks. We will be back before Christmas for one more show for sure. We would like to thank producer extraordinaire Jake Laughlin for pushing our buttons, and we'd like to thank you for tuning in. We'd like to thank you for supporting DentonRadio.com, as well as the Mighty Vic here and the Visitors Information Center, and just in general supporting live music here in Denton. We're still doing it.
It's much appreciated.
It's still out there, too. We got a lot of it.
There's things happening.
All right. Well, we're going to let you go. It is time to vacate the premises. Until next time, be good. We will catch you in 2 weeks. So until then, for Brian and Jake Laughlin here and yours truly, Bone Doggie, have a safe one. We'll see you then. Ciao bella. Good night.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.